Opening disclaimer. What I did was stupid. I am telling you this so you do not think I am some wise explorer of the mind. I am not. I am a fool. And this story will prove it. You should not do what I did. Just because you can survive a punch in the face does not mean it is fun. Beginning, the whole thing started last Saturday. I had been out in the woods behind my Mima's house looking for mushrooms. Not for dinner, but for escape. I had found fly agaric out there before. I did not find mushrooms this time. What I found instead were leaves. I knew what they were, but not well enough. Just enough to make a mistake. Mima knew exactly what they were too, and she was not happy about it. She asked me what I was doing carrying them to the car. I said, "I am feeding them to the neighbor's rabbit." She knew that was a lie. I threw them over the fence so she would leave me alone. Then I went and picked them back up after she had gone inside. At home, I had to dry them. I had not eaten all day because I thought that would make the trip better. The first plan was to use a hairdryer. The leaves just blew onto the floor. Stupid. Then I put them in the oven with the door open. Smarter, but not by much. I called my friend Deuce. I will call him D. I told him what I was going to do. He said he would not do it because last time I did something dumb like this. He had to watch over me during a salvia nightmare. Then he did it anyway. He knew I would do it with or without him. I am like that. He knows I am like that. It is probably exhausting to be my friend. The preparation. I ground up the leaves in the coffee grinder. I then threw the coffee grinder away because my mom uses it, and I did not want her to trip out. My mom is uptight. I tried to swallow the ground up leaves. They tasted like a rotting corpse had been put in a microwave and then buried in a swamp for 6 months. I gagged. D rolled his eyes. I got them down in 10 minutes. We went to the living room and put on Gummo, our favorite movie. He smoked a cigarette. I put a wad of chewing tobacco in my mouth. We waited. The trip begins. About an hour into the movie, I lost the ability to follow what was happening. That is normal for Gummo. The problem was that I kept forgetting I was even watching a movie. I would wake up and wonder what was going on. Then I would wake up again. D said I started clearing my throat. I do not remember that. I kept asking him to change the channel. He kept telling me it was a movie. Then I would ask again. The room got darker. There was a humming behind me. Every time I turned around to see what it was, it stopped. D laughed. He said, "Dude, you are tripping." I did not believe him. I did not even remember taking anything. I thought my brain was working fine. The world was just wrong. The realization of being trapped. I lost track of time. I told D I had to go to work soon. He said it was still Saturday. I asked how long the trip would last. He said, "I do not know." "How long does it last?" I said, 3 days. That is when I realized how screwed I was. I had work on Monday. D said to call in sick. I forgot what he was talking about halfway through the sentence. I walked to the bathroom, turned on the shower, threw all the towels into the water. I saw myself sending a telegraph from the kitchen. But as soon as I heard the machine working, it disappeared. D got his camera. He wanted to film the madness. Instead, I curled into a ball and rocked back and forth for hours. I did not give him the insanity he was hoping for, just quiet suffering. The breakdown. I heard worms eating my heart. My chest hurt. He calmed me down. I was crying. He took my chewing tobacco away because I kept taking it out of my mouth and putting it in my pocket like I was saving it for later. Maybe I was. Then I was on my aunt's tree swing. My first girlfriend was there. She begged me to sing at her funeral. She said I played the guitar beautifully. I said no. I cried. My tears burned my skin. D said I looked really sick. He called in sick to my work for me. Reality collapses. Mildred, my pet Burmese python, started slamming her head against her cage. She never does that. D started to worry. He was right to worry. I thought I was in a wheelbarrow full of rats. I thought it was my throne. I saw my old baseball coach. He died in a snowmobile accident when I was 13. I asked him how to get out of here. He walked toward me. I got scared. I told myself, "This is just a dream." He kept coming. I tried to run. My legs did not work. Day 2, I could not eat. I could not drink. Water made me sick. Food made me dirty. I could not breathe. I was sweating. D said my pupils were huge. I begged to God, I do not believe in to end the trip. I promised to quit drinking and drugs. I was lying. I am stoned right now. I saw a hound crawl out from under my desk. It brushed against my leg. It was real, then it was not. Something pulled me backward. No matter how I turned, it always pulled me from behind. Dee tried to get me to walk. I fell down. I could not move. My jaw was locked. The breaking point. I pissed myself. Dee was worried. Not about the mess. He was worried because I had not drunk anything. But I pissed like a racehorse. He came back with clean shorts and paper towels. I freaked out. I thought he was trying to hurt me. I tried to climb onto my bed to escape. He grabbed me. I swung at him. I was terrified. I do not know why. His girlfriend came over to help. I woke up to her holding me, whispering, "They are gone now. You are fine." I do not know who they were. I pushed her away. She laughed. The aftermath. I went to work Tuesday. I could not think. I stuttered. Everyone asked if I was okay. They thought I was sick. I let them believe that. I got nothing done. I ate a huge meal. I slept for 14 hours. Conclusion: it has been a week. I am not right. I do not think I will ever be right again. I would rather take mushrooms. I would rather take acid. Anything but this. 3 days in hell. 0 stars. Would not recommend. Extended reflection. I have since read up on what I took. It was a stupid amount. The kind of dose that makes people meet their ancestors or, worse, their future selves. I do not want to meet either. The past is embarrassing, and the future is bleak. He will not let me forget this. He shows people the video of me curled up like a bug. I should hate him for it, but I do not. He earned his fun. I put him through hell. I am drinking less now, not because I am a better person, because I do not trust what is real anymore. My reflection looks delayed. Shadows move without their objects. I think I left part of myself in that trip. If you see him, tell him to stay lost. This was during a time in my life when I thought I was an okay person. Other people might have thought differently, but that was their problem. I was in college, and I was on probation for the crime of being 19 and having beer. I was also being drug tested, which meant my main personality trait, smoking weed every day, had to go on hold. So I did what any rational, law-abiding citizen would do. I started looking for drugs they wouldn't test for. That was how I ended up with an ounce of Amanita muscaria mushrooms. They were grade B, which meant they were probably the kind of mushrooms that squirrels pissed on. I ate 10 grams anyway. The effects were mild. I felt loose and light and stretchy, like a cartoon character about to fall into a manhole. It lasted a few hours, and then I went to bed. It was disappointing. I wanted the mushrooms to knock me over the head and tell me a secret. Instead, they just tickled me and left. A few days later, I ate the remaining 18 grams. It was a little stronger, but still not what I wanted. I blamed my body. Tolerance, I thought. That was the problem. If my stupid body had just let the first trip hit harder, I wouldn't have had to go in for round 2 so soon. But I wasn't going to let a biological technicality stop me. I wanted something real. So I ordered an ounce of grade A Amanitas and, because I had no sense of self-preservation, a large quantity of belladonna root. Belladonna is poisonous, but it is also visionary, which is a nice word for extremely dangerous. I had read enough to know that this plant had been responsible for both spiritual awakenings and emergency room visits. That was intriguing. I was young and stupid, and young stupid people think they are invincible, and invincible people do things like chew on belladonna root while waiting for mushrooms to kick in. The package arrived. I took it home and decided that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. So I ate the entire ounce of mushrooms and a 2-inch piece of the belladonna root. It tasted like pine needles and bad decisions. Then I went over to my friend's house to watch TV and play cards. I had no idea what was coming. At first, nothing happened. Then, an hour in, something very much did. I felt lightheaded. My vision tunneled. 1 second, I was slumped over like a dying houseplant, and the next, I was bursting with energy like a dog who just figured out how to open the fridge. My friends were confused. I was confused. The confusion did not last long because soon I was unable to process anything at all. I lost my hearing first. The world became silent. My vision shrank to a pinhole and then expanded into a different world entirely. I was no longer on the couch. I was inside the television, or rather, I was inside something else entirely, something animated and surreal, where rolling hills stretched forever and animals frolicked with no awareness of what I had done to myself. Time did not exist in this place, but at some point, I found myself in a vast throne room. It was empty except for two figures. One was grand and authoritative. The other was small and evil. The grand one told me there was a contest. If I won, I would return to my life and be granted happiness. If I lost, every living creature on earth would vanish, and I would spend eternity alone. The contest was simple. The grand one would ask a question. Whoever answered first won. The small evil thing answered at the same time I did, every time. It was like I was competing with myself. I was locked in this battle for what felt like centuries, unable to get ahead, unable to lose, until I did. The question was about color. The answer was red. I hesitated for half a second. The small evil thing did not. It won. The world was lost. I screamed, and then I was back on the couch, completely sober, as if none of it had happened. But it had. I knew it had. I yelled for my friends. They were not in the room. For one horrible moment, I thought the contest had been real, that I had actually destroyed everything, that I had actually lost. Then I heard them in the other room, playing ping pong. The relief that hit me was physical. I had not doomed the world. I had just gone temporarily insane. That was fine. That was normal. I sat there trying to process what had happened. I had been gone for hours, but the moment I lost the contest, the trip ended. The timing was too perfect. It was as if my mind had slammed the door shut the second it decided I had suffered enough. I should have learned my lesson. I should have walked away from all of it. Instead, I did more belladonna later and had a much worse time. My organs still might be mad at me for that one, but I survived. I do not know what to make of the things I saw. I do not know what to make of the contest. I do not know if I was fighting myself or if I was fighting something else entirely. I just know that I lost, and I think about that sometimes. I think about that a lot.